Hey, welcome to the Pink Parley. It's your fine ass host, Molly, and welcome to the show. So, yes, you guys, today's parlay is inspired by the Pink Parley blog at thepinkparley.wordpress.com. So, make sure you check out the blog. It's definitely lit. People been really fucking with my blog, so I've been taking my blogs very seriously. So, yes, every week, especially when I do solo topics, yes, I more than likely will have a blog that it was inspired from. So I've been forgetting to mention that in my previous parlays, but yes, today's parlay was inspired by the Pink Parley blog. But yeah, what made me think about today's topic was a couple things, right? But I have this friend that I just caught up with, and I used to work with him back in the restaurant days, and of course he's still in the restaurant business, and I linked up with him, and he sees what I'm doing now with the Pink Parley, and I'm all pinked out, and I'm just doing my thing, and he's like, I could sense a little bit of animosity and jealousy. It was kind of like what he was saying to me, instead of just being like simply proud of me, he was kind of like, well, yeah, well, I have to work here at this restaurant because, I don't have the good looks and the nice body and the fat ass like you do. So I have to keep my old restaurant job and, I can't just, so I was just like, oh my God, I didn't even respond to it. But just in my mind, I'm like, wow, bro, you such a hater. But honestly, this is something that has been coming to me for a while now. I mean, it first started back when I was a server. I used to have men be like, oh, it's going to be easy for you to make money, or want to blame the fact that because I get good tips for being a good server, have these other men try to tell me that only reason why I'm getting these tips is because of my fat ass and my pretty face. So, and then it got worse as, I got into real estate. A lot of people were like, oh, you're going to sell a house with ease because you're a woman. So to all my boss bitches out there, have y'all ever had a man come to y'all and say some shit to you like that? Especially, you started your own business or whatever it is. Have you ever had a guy come and tell you like, oh, this is going to be easy for you because you're a woman? And it's always like a little hatefulness behind it, right? So yeah, so that's what inspires today's topic. So roll up if you smoke, sip your drink if you drank, and if you gotta be sober, then just listen to this realness I'm finna give y'all, okay? As y'all know, I'm a hoe. Selling sex is something that's not new to me, right? But going into this podcasting journey, I was really conflicted on how much sex I should sell, how I should come out to the world as a sex worker. Should I even come out to the world as a sex worker? So, these things I was very conflicted on at first, and in the beginning, I was kind of like, I'm stepping into a new path and, I'm going to be this utmost proper woman. And, realistically, I mean, I guess in starting off, that's what I thought it was going to be. But I always do realistically, like I knew that I was going to add sexual elements to my show. I mean, because that's just me, right? And yeah, I remember like back in the days, right, when I used to be drunk and wild and just a hot mess on my old Instagram account. I would do like these Q&As, and I was just always very like open and sexual. And I would just talk very openly about different sexual things, even my sex work. And, I had a lot of women actually admire me for that, and I had women come to me and be like, wow, like I respect how real you are. And I really wish that I could be as real as you. But a lot of other girls out here are probably worried about the judgment that might come from their family or their friends, especially if you come from a very conservative background. So, a lot of people can't even express themselves that way, even if these are feelings that's inside of them. So I guess that's one good thing about me not having a family that gives a fuck, because I never really had to worry about like, oh my God, like what's my mom and my dad gonna think, like my parents don't give a fuck. So it's like, all right, I basically could run wild and do what the hell I want. And ain't nobody like really that close to me gonna say anything. Of course, like friends and stuff try to come in my life and tell me to do things differently. But like, I don't listen because I feel like it's lit what I do. And like, people don't understand me, but like, I'm just me. Like, and it's just like, I could be a little bit too much for someone. I could be like the perfect fit for other people as well. So it's just like, it's what it is. So yeah, once I've started believing in myself and, I birthed the Pink Parley, I couldn't help but to reminisce back to when I used to do those wild Q&As on my Instagram account. So I always knew like, okay, like people already liked my personality and how I was before. So going ahead and doing this podcast journey, I'm sure some other people will fuck with it as well. But, I always knew I wanted to be better than what I was. So instead of being such a hot ass mess, I like the fact that I'm still able to express myself, but now I'm doing it in a more structured way. I'm putting intelligence behind it. I'm self-taught, on some things. So I'm editing, I'm doing all this. So to me, this is a way more constructive way of me expressing how wild and openly sexual I am versus me just being a drunk fool, looking like a fool on my old IG account. So once I started the Pink Parley, I knew I wanted to be wild, but I knew I wanted to be better. And the reason why I didn't want to show how wild I was, like, especially like at first, like on my first parlay, it's like just introducing myself to the world, I didn't want to come off as like too wild because I felt like you guys would misunderstand me. And that's the thing. Like, I'm tired of being misunderstood. I've been misunderstood of my whole life, right? I've had people not know me and just from the outside looking in, see like a pretty face, a pretty smile, nice banging body. So, people would be like, why is she acting like that? Like, like she doesn't have to act that way and she needs to be more ladylike. But like, if people understood my whole story and then saw how I acted, I think people would respect me so much more. Because like, just from the outside looking in, you would not think that I've been through the things that I've been through. But, the problem with that is when it comes to sharing my story with people, this is decades and decades of bullshit and like heartbreaking ass shit that's been happening. And it's kind of like endless. So it's not something where in one conversation, I can tell you my whole life. Like, this is not just one little sad thing that happened. Like, no, this is a lot of shit. And it's still sad shit that's going on. So, I never knew how to really tell my story to people until, I came up with the Pink Parley. Basically, in sharing my story, my big hopes was that like finally I could have some understanding of me and why I'm me from other people. When it came down to my sex work though, I felt that it would be best to share my story first and then kind of lead into my sex work. So, I would throw out hints in my beginning episodes that I was a sex worker, but I never talked more in depth until my episode 6, which is sex work, right? Out of all my parlays, sex work is still my top parlay to date. And despite all of success and everything, I still was like, fuck that. I'm sharing my story first. And I felt like the world needed that for some reason, because there's tons of hoes on the internet, on Twitter, you name it. There's a hoe everywhere, especially if you're on social media. Everywhere you scroll and you seeing a hoe. But like, out of all these hoes though, like how many of these girls do you really know, like the backstory, And I felt that if people knew the backstory of why I'm a hoe, it would just be an understanding. Not saying y'all gotta fuck with me or anything or like me anymore, but I'm just saying like it would be just more of an understanding, like, oh, okay, like I get it now. Like shit, like she had it pretty rough. Like, like I could be really cracked out pushing a basket. Like for people with a high level of trauma like I have, like people really, really be fucked up for real out there. I will say though, because like I know that obviously there's probably not a lot of hoes out there that just even have a platform or the chance or the opportunity to share their story. But also too, like sharing your story is difficult. Like I'm not over here sitting telling y'all to just share y'all stories like it's nothing. Like, no, if you sharing your trauma and what you really been through for real, like your honest and true cut story, like that's hard to fucking do. And it was hard for me to do. And, I've been through so much trauma. I had all these walls just formed around me, right? And once I shared my story and my trauma, something changed in me. And I felt almost weak, scared, gullible. It felt like all those walls around me were just lowered. And I felt like I was back to this innocent child that I once was, once upon a time before I built up these walls and all these defense mechanisms. So, at first I did not like the feeling at all, like I'm not no soft bitch. What, like that's kind of how I felt at first. So yeah, I didn't even know how to feel about this new me. But through that feeling though, I realized that I was healed from my trauma. And I realized that I no longer had to be an angry and volatile person. And it's changed my life. And when I tell you now that those walls have been lowered, this beautiful person who's been here all along, this beautiful soul, this genuine, loving and bright person, right, is able to shine now. And now, like, so much people perceive me better. People used to be like, whoa, when I used to walk through a room, because I just had that much anger and tension in me. And I am now just way more dope of a person. And I can't thank my healing journey enough, and especially this podcast, and especially y'all for just being there for me, listening to everything I have to say, whether it's funny, sexual, deep, emotional. Like, you guys have been there supporting it all. And that's why I thank you guys all the time, because I mean, y'all are making me grow as a person. It's like we're growing together or some shit, or you guys are watching me and you guys are going to see more growths and more changes to my show. And again, like, y'all are dope. Shout out to everyone that's fucking with the podcast. So yes, in sharing my story, it has been filled with tons and tons of positives. Like I said, you guys have been supporting me. I've been having other people who's been through trauma able to open up and connect with me, and kind of feel like, I'm more of a safe space for y'all. And I am a safe space for you guys. If you guys are out there and you feel like you guys are going through something and you can connect to my story, my trauma, reach out to me. Let me know who you are. Let me know what you're going through. And trust me, like, I will be here to hear you out. I won't blast you if you don't want to be blasted. And, it'll be just to be an ear to talk to. Because I understand when you're going through some shit and you don't have nobody to talk to. Trust me, I'm a person that can relate to just about it all. I don't judge. So if you ever want to just talk to me or reach out and you're going through something, like, I'm definitely here to hear your story and try to coach you the best way I can. So on the positive side, yes, I've been getting a lot of support, and I have become kind of like a safe space for you guys to open up to me, right? But then on the negative side, like I've mentioned before, I've had men listen to these parlays, listen to my trauma, and then try to connect to me through my trauma just for their sexual gain. And that part pissed me off so much, and it almost hurt my feelings. I don't know. It almost had me feeling like, am I an idiot for sharing my story? Like, did I make a mistake? Like, should I just not even do the podcast anymore? Like, this is it really fucked my head up and really insulted me, because I've put tears behind writing some of these parlays, and, I've been healing through these parlays and through the tears. And it's like, for you to try to connect to that just to try to fuck me, like, It was like these men was turning my good work into some type of blasphemy. They had me fucked up for real, y'all. And honestly, that was only the beginning of how weird men have been to me. These men are getting more and more weird to me the more and more I grow on this damn show. So yeah, men have been hating on me in the workforce lane for quite some time now. And I remember when I first started hearing these words was when I became a waitress. And, I used to always hear like, oh, you're a girl, it should be easy for you. And all this weird shit, right? And, it always puzzled me, and I never understood why men said that shit. Because I'm like, I work fucking hard as hell for my money, bro. Like, nothing is easy for me because I have a cute face and a nice body. If anything, I think people expect me to work harder. The fuck? And for real, like, the statement pisses me off because it's delusional. Like, I worked so hard for all my money. When I was a waitress, it was my good service and my attention to detail that got me my tips. Like, I worked hard as fuck, hard as hell, earning every little piece of my tip. But, I had these hating ass men working with me, and they was just weak ass servers. But they did not want to admit that to themselves. So at the end of the night, when my tip pockets is fat and, I'm over here cashing out and doing my tip outs and shit, and then this nigga got dry ass tip pockets, instead of him being like, oh, just taking accountability for himself and just being like, oh, I'm just a weak ass server. No, instead, what a nigga try to do to make himself feel better, a weak nigga that is be like, oh, the only reason why she got that money is because she's pretty with a fat ass. No, nigga, you just a whack ass server. Sorry, because I worked with plenty of men and they weren't even always attractive men, but they had excellent fucking service. And I promise you, them niggas used to make more money than me. So what the fuck? So yeah, like that statement is bullshit to me, bro. Then it got only worse, right? Like that was the beginning of it, just the waitressing life and, comparing tip pockets and shit like that. But then it got worse when I got into real estate, right? And, so many men have told me, and at least dozens and dozens have told me that I would be able to sell a house with ease just because I'm pretty. Like, fuck studying and the knowledge and the intelligence and being, thorough with paperwork, whatever. No, just because I'm pretty, you think that I'm just going to sell a house with ease, right? Well, you know what, you guys? That has been completely the fucking opposite for me. I have not sold a house yet in real estate. If anything, I've been having a lot of problems with my male mentors. And I honestly feel that I have this spark in me that I don't even intentionally mean to show. I'm so humble, but for some reason I have like this spark in me and I feel like people will get intimidated. And I just feel like I've had a problem with all my male mentors. Like they really knew if they gave me that right backbone and that right push and that knowledge that I would just soar and just take off. And, that intimidates men. Men don't want to see a strong, independent woman take off and probably be more than successful than them, right? And then going back to my fucking pastor / mentor / fucking trick ass client, right? Back to his ass, I thought in this mentoring journey that, he would want me to do well and succeed. And, as I started going into the office more and more, I think he was jealous. Everyone in the office really gravitated to me. And, I just fit the office perfectly. Like, I couldn't believe how perfectly I fit that office environment because I seemed to get along with everyone. And, everyone seemed to like me. And I don't know. I really think it started to develop some jealousy in him. And I remember him saying to me, for real, that I'm going to take off one day and I'm going to forget all about him. And when he said that to me, he looked me in my eyes and I knew he was dead ass serious. And after that moment too, that's when I stopped showing up to the office. That's when I was like, man, I had to answer all my questions because I was wondering why he was not helping me, or he was giving me these broken promises or telling me that we were going to do real estate related shit and we would never do anything real estate related. And I'm like, bro, you're not helping me at all. And what kills me too, and what's really frustrating to see, is he helps everybody in that office. Every single person has got help from this man because you know why? When I go in the office, they tell me how he helped them. And then I can't even get help and I'm begging you. It's a whole nother thing, you guys, with the real estate thing. I'm really praying that eventually one day, right now the podcast is doing better for me, I feel, than the real estate. The podcast is just flowing in, right? It ain't really bringing me too much problems. Real estate has been a hindrance. And I think I have this really tough ass game plan. I got a cold ass game plan because I'm not giving up on my real estate, but I'm pausing it for right now because I got a bigger plan for that. And I'm really hoping that this parlay take off in a way to where I could really do some major moves with this real estate shit and fuck a mentor type shit. I'm not dealing with it no more. I'm not dealing with nobody controlling me ever again. I'm on my own as an entrepreneur, and that's how it's going to be. And then it got worse, right? So now I'm in the podcasting industry and now men are really, really hating on me, right? And, it finally dawned on me on why these men were so mad, because all my life, I just was like, wow, why is he so mad? Then I started this podcast and, I'm so enlightened by everything now, I guess. I'm so woke, I guess, that I'm like, it dawned on me why these men are so fucking mad, right? And I had to think all the way back to back in the days, right? And, men for a long time, and even now though, still dominates the entrepreneurial world, right? But at one point in time, us women were not really allowed to express ourselves and our intellects. Yeah, and we were more so expected to just be a housewife and depend on a man who was more of the entrepreneurial guy. And then on top of that, we'll have to deal with all the egotistical bullshit and deal with the infidelities that men will put us through, right? Then us women will have babies, and some women, get really insecure after the body changes, after giving birth. And, if they were unhappy with their body changes after birth, us women probably just had to sit around and just deal with it and just be a mother. And that was that, And then if that woman has a cheating spouse, that's only going to make her more insecure, right, about herself and her body, right? But it is 2024, okay? There is no reason why you do not have to have a nice body. If you want to get a surgery done on your body to boost your confidence or whatever, then go ahead and do it, boo. Like, women now have been allowed to express our intellects, express how intelligent we are. We've started getting into business, and we've been like blowing these men out the water, right? But then it even progressed, I think, where it got real hateful for the men once social media became available at the palm of our hands, right? Because now we got the social media, and now we have our own platform without a lot of harsh restrictions where we can promote ourselves and our business, and we can sell a little bit of sex on it too. And like, who's really gonna tell us anything, right? Really nobody. So now, us women, if we have a baby or something like that and we're a little bit insecure about how we look afterwards, we can go ahead and get us a surgery, okay? And that's the thing with men too. Like, a man, on the other hand, really, it is possible for a man to get their body done. For sure. There is men out here, men, that y'all probably should consider the surgery for real, for real. But, as a man though, like, that's not even what, like, your friends, your family members, like, they're going to fucking clown you, right? So a lot of men feel like cosmetic surgery is not an option for them in their body, right? So the only way a man can really have a fit and nice body is really to work out. And I'm talking about consistently hitting the gym pretty hard, dieting, protein shakes, the whole nine, right? Some men are willing to do that while a lot of others are not. So let's say, yeah, you have a natural, nice body, or you got your body done or whatnot, and you're on social media and you're promoting your business, right? It's a little frustrating, I would say, because honestly, my booty is natural. I've always had a fat ass, but all my life, right, I've been overly sexualized. Even before I was having sex, right? I was overly sexualized. I was constantly disrespected. And I honestly feel like I struggle to find men who seriously want a commitment with me, Like, it's more like when men see me, like, just the visual, like, before knowing anything about my background, just the visual, just looking at me just like this, right? Men just want to bone. Like, that's it. They want to smash, right? So I think, like, especially with women, when they get their body done, like, it's so overwhelming sometimes to get that overly sexualized attention where men are just hitting you up right and left, just wanting to smash. And that's all they're trying to do as well. So yeah. And I feel like when you go into business this way, it's kind of similar. Like, you're going to get men that are going to hop in your DM and disrespect you. And it don't matter how much you show off your body or how little you show it off. If you got that body, you like, and you're a single woman, especially, even if you're in a relationship, these men nowadays don't care. But especially if you're a single woman, these men will come at you sideways. Or you'll have the men, right, with these invested in social media accounts, right? So when you first glance at their account, you see 15,000 subscribers or more. So you're like, oh, wow, like, I just started my new business, and maybe this guy could shout me out or help me and put me, give me some exposure and, to my business and whatnot, right? So be careful of these types of guys, because I get these guys all the time. And I kid you not, look through their likes, look through their comments. Is the engagement lining up with the following? Like, because if you have that many followers, there's no reason why you should have under 20 likes on all your posts, why you have no comments on anything, right? Like, there's something suspect in that. So, a lot of these types of men will come in your DM, right? And, the ones that will fool you at a quick glance if you're not really on your shit. And they'll try to say, oh, I can help you do this, and that. And I work with whoop whoop, but will want a piece of your coochie in return of this success that the nigga probably is never going to give you, right? If anything, probably will fuck you up and hinder you in your success. So yeah, ladies, do not fall for these types of men, and be very, very cautious, because in this point in our business, the very beginning stages when you just started, and let's say you haven't really did no major influencing or nothing like that, and you just started your new business and you barely got any followers and shit like that, like, that's a gullible stage for everyone, right? So just anyone that hits you up, you're just kind of get excited. You're like, oh, what's that, a customer? Or, like, you get that follower, you're just like, yay, so, you're so kind of desperate to grow your account that you could fall fool to these guys. So yeah, be careful, ladies, for real. And yeah, I feel like it's so important to stay cautious during this stage, because I feel like this stage could ruin a lot of brilliant business people, because this is a time where maybe a brilliant entrepreneur might not even realize how brilliant he or she is, right? And, because you just started your business, you haven't even made a sale yet, right? But that doesn't mean that you're not a brilliant entrepreneur. People will come into your life and that's really already got a one up on you and already been established in their business. And they will come and try to take your ideas or fuck up what you have going on in your business. So yeah, that's why I say just really take precaution during that stage and just starting your business, especially. Yeah, and never fall victim to the foolery that these guys are trying to sell you, okay, ladies? Because I'll tell you something. Most men of that caliber is never going to put you in a line of success, right? And ultimately, pretty much no man is going to ever put you in a position to shine, especially if you have the capabilities to shine brighter than him.
Realness.
I can't emphasize that enough. It is so intimidating for a woman on her own as an entrepreneur to be put in a position to shine brighter than the man. Because like I said, men are so fucking egotistical at times. Yeah. And then just kind of back to the men in my DMs, right? I had to realize at a point that I'm a bad bitch, right? So it don't matter what I wear. I could wear a long dress and not show anything. I could wear this Pink Parley sweatsuits, right? And not be showing off too much of my body. But no matter what, men are going to come at me sexually. Whether I'm naked on this bitch podcasting, whether I'm fully dressed and covered podcasting, people are going to come at me sexually. So once I started realizing this, I was like, well, damn, like doing the sexy shit easy. Like, shit, I was trying to give y'all a different part of me, you know, like I'm the one over here making this shit hard. Like, well, now I'm not gonna say hard, but you know, it's real shit. I'm the one making it like this, and I gotta do all this and show you guys I'm a lady. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm a freak, nasty, ratchet. Like shit, well, I could do that. And I'm like, I might as well do it because I'm still getting disrespected. If anything, I'm taking it personal. Like, I'll get more offended at the fact that, you know, I was actually being like really on some healing, you know, power, you know, like you could do this and heal, and you know, and I got big like, oh yeah, I want to heal with you too, let's fuck. And I'm like, oh nah. So I'm like, you know what, I'm finna turn it up. Then, you know, I started seeing how all my, you know, sexual podcasts are doing numbers. So, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really finna turn this sexual shit up and this sexy up. You know, because I do believe in working smarter and not harder. So I'm like, y'all want more sex? I'm going to give y'all more sex. Period. And have I let y'all down yet? And yeah, I just had to kind of revert back to what I know. Sex sells. So yeah, I never was ashamed to sell my sex for my own financial gains, right? And now I have the chance to use my sex appeal to market for the Pink Parley. So, and yeah, I'm embracing my sexy because that's something powerful in my womanhood. And I've taken advantage of using my sex appeal to market for my business. Like this past Valentine's Day shoot I did, I got like over 200 followers just in one day, right? And, you know, I went up like about 20 subscribers as well. So, you know, it definitely benefited me and the Pink Parley, for sure. Yeah, and that's why I'm going to continue on doing my Pink Parley, sexy pink aesthetic looks and photo shoots because it's something that I personally just enjoy doing, especially like when I get into like the looks and the aesthetics of things. Yeah, I don't really take pictures often. I really hate taking my own pictures, but I do kind of have a thing for photo shoots, and I really do like that. So I do have more photo shoots planned and coming, so stay tuned. And make sure you follow that Instagram page at the Pink Parley. So yeah, but no matter what, no matter how sexy I do it, no matter how sexy the photo shoot is or whatever, right? I make sure I attach the Pink Parley to everything I do. And I take advantage of this, in fact, you know, because I used to get like when men sit in my DM, I used to like kind of shy away or want to ignore them or, you know, whatever. But now, no, when a man signs into my DM, you know, I basically make the conversation all about the Pink Parley and all about my podcast. A dude could simply just be like,
what's up?
Oh, nothing, working on my podcast. Hey, like, have you checked it out yet? Like, you know, sending the links like, oh, you should check it out. I'm really passionate about this right now. And if you subscribe, you know, I really appreciate it, you know? So, and what's weird about that and what I've just noticed is when I do that shit, y'all, and make the conversation all about the Pink Parley, do you know I scare a lot of these men off? Because a lot of men just slide in the DMs and looking for small talk, looking to pull up and fuck type shit. You know, let's smoke, let's fuck, you know, just regular shit, right? So when you talking about like, oh, subscribe to my channel and watch my show and do this and buy my stuff, and men were like, whoa. So you're going to run a lot of men off that aren't looking for all that? Or you might, even out of a few of those guys, they really will fuck with you and really support what you got going on. So never be afraid or try to ignore those thirsty guys. Just take lead in that conversation. Always make that conversation about your business. I don't care if you clapping ass cheeks and selling Bibles. Just make sure, like when men slide in your DM and they talk about that ass clapping them cheeks, yes, be like, yes, I was clapping them for the Lord and amen. And here's a link to these Bibles, okay? Like, it don't have to be that insane, you guys, but I'm just saying, though, like, so yes, I finally felt a way to feel liberation over these thirsty men, right? Because all my life I've just like ducked and dodged them, but now I'm like, Pink Parley, nigga, Pink Parley, subscribe. And like, some of these men are scared. I'm like, yeah, like I feel so empowered now. So that Pink Parley power for sure. So, and I've noticed too that whenever I sprinkle a little sex into some shit, I do numbers, my podcast, my YouTube shows, the photos, whatever it is, it does fucking numbers, right? And yeah, so I feel like a lot of women have not reached this point of realization yet of the fact that they can really use their sex appeal to sell. And I noticed this problem especially with women who were once sex workers in the past, right? And have maybe, moved on or is trying to move on and, has started their little business. But I feel like when they move into that business, they just want to completely forget, that they were a hoe, right? And just completely change the type of woman you are. Perfectly normal, right? Like I even have a friend and she used to be a known stripper in LA, right? And now she's a beauty distributor. But now, like, if you look at her page and anything she does, right? Like, that's all you're going to see is her beauty products. You're not even going to know that the bitch is stacked the way she is. Like, when I tell you her body is banging, y'all, she's like slim, thick, and fit. Like, her body is really, really nice, and it saddens me that she does not show this at all while showing off her beauty care products, right? She's expressed to me how, she does not want people to know of her in her past as a dancer or anything like that. But I'm like, you don't have to be dancing, but you could still sell your sex appeal, okay? Like, I'm like, shit, if you drape some of them beauty products across the back of that fat ass, and maybe like, I really feel like she could do more numbers. Like, I truly, passionately feel this way, but I'm not one to say nothing. I'm not one to judge either, but I just feel that if you're a woman and you got it, and especially if you come from that background, that line of work of just selling sex and sex appeal, like, why the fuck wouldn't you not want to do that and use that same sex appeal into your new business? Right. But I understand it because I was conflicted too, ladies, but I've fully embraced it now. And you got to just ignore these men because no matter what, if you have sex appeal in any type of way, whether you're covered or showing it all, men are going to come at you, right? And, they'll come and they'll try to snatch the bad bitch out of you, right? Because they see you on your own and you a bad bitch and you doing your shit. They going to try to throw you off with some old sideways ass fucking DM, right? Or you're going to get the hating ass men, right? That's going to be like, oh, you're only succeeding because you're a girl and you got body, right? You're going to get those type of guys. And them type of men are only mad because they wish they could sell sex too. I can't tell you, like, I don't know why men are so insecure about themselves. So many men out here are capable of selling sex or their sex appeal, right? Because they look good. But a lot of men don't realize how good they look, or they're just not confident about themselves, their bodies, whatever, right? But, men can sell sex, right? And I know it can be done because I've seen it be done. And when I kid you not, like, there's even a guy that comes to my mind who I want on the show, right? But on his social media, like, all he shows is like sex tips and oral tips. And he does like these tongue maneuvers. Like, he's just like freak nasty with it, right? Oh, so obviously I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, oh shit. He definitely seemed like he know what he doing. So, my coochie jumping a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. But, if it wasn't for me standing so heavy on business this year, like, I would have been sat on the man's face. But, I'm standing on my business. So, I'm not going to hit him up and be like, hey, like, what that tongue do, even though I'm thinking that. And I think that's what a lot of women too, that men have to realize that even though you might be out there in a sexual way and, for those that's doing it for maybe like female attention, trust me, like, us females, we watching all that shit. We watching them dick prints in the gray sweatpants, okay? We see it and we love it. We seeing y'all in the gym putting in that work, showing off those muscles. We're loving it, okay? We seeing y'all out here showing that y'all got a good pelvic rotation and that y'all got tongue maneuvers, Okay, we're seeing it and we're loving it and we turned on and we definitely curious. However, because society has been so harsh to us women on expressing ourselves sexually, a lot of women don't say anything. So yeah, so a lot of men might think like, oh, we can't do it. Like, y'all, trust me, we watching. And best believe we will support everything you do, and it can boost your business sales. And if anything, we might do it on the hush hush though, and be supporting your little shit without saying nothing. But best believe, baby, like we fucking with what you got going on, okay? With that, I really appreciate you. If you men are out here on social media just sexy as fuck because you didn't kept your body right and you just out here doing your shit, like I love you for real. I really got a special appreciation for you, especially now, right? Because you have these angry dad bod guys, right? And like after fucking high school, they stopped working out. They just fucking worked and sat around, and then to make matters worse, in their free time, develop a drinking problem and drank fucking beers all fucking night after work and shit, right? So now over time and over the years, this guy who maybe was popping back in high school or whatnot has now developed a fucking beer belly and the infamous dad bod, right? And, if you have a dad bod and you're happy and you're just living your dad life or doing whatever and minding your business, like this isn't for you. Like you guys are awesome and dad bods deserve love for sure. But I'm talking about these angry dad bod guys that are mad at themselves because they let their body go that way, right? And you see a young lady like me or a lot of the other beautiful young ladies out here that, have this nice body because they maybe worked out or maybe they invested in their body and got it done. But fuck it, the body's nice and they're posting the pictures and they're getting this attention, and then the bitch starts a business. These angry dad bod guys end up losing their fucking minds, right? And then they come at a bitch sideways. And one thing I gotta say is do not let these angry ass dad bod guys tear you down, queen. If anything, keep on showing off that sexy body. Keep on working on your body and keeping that shit looking nice and keeping these angry motherfuckers mad. Because I promise you, these men are only angry because if they can sell sex, they fucking would too. But they know their bodies are fucked up, and so they know they just lost their fucking sex appeal, right? So they want to be mad at us. And, they're fucking lazy, and then they don't want to do the surgery option because they don't want people talking about them. So they just sit there and be mad at a bad bitch. Like, I cannot stand an angry dad bod guy. Like, just, Yeah. And because of these angry dad bod guys, I am welcoming all you openly freaky ass men that's out there with it, that's working, that's didn't put in the work in the gym, and you looking good and shit like that, and you on social media and you popping. Like, I appreciate y'all, you top tier gentlemen so fucking much when I kid you not. Just because of these angry dad bod guys. In fact, these angry dad bod guys are so fucking mad and hateful. I'm pretty sure they hated on you men as well. That's out here popping. That's just top tier on the fucking gram, right? Doing your entrepreneurial shit and doing what you got to do. Yeah. So now I appreciate y'all top tier gentlemen so much. I'm welcoming y'all into my life. And why? Because I want y'all on my show. Duh. Like, y'all gonna be lit. For real. But no, like seriously, I really have a more appreciation of y'all because y'all really put in that work. And instead of being mad at a bitch, y'all realizing like, no, like you could do the same thing and still be successful. So yes, and to all my men out there, I just feel like y'all can't sell sex. That is not true. You're fucking wrong. And I really do wish that more men were more confident in themselves to sell sex, because I honestly feel that the man sex selling market is so low. And it's so rare, right? Like, even when I come across men that sell sex on their Instagrams, I'm almost like, oh my God, a little bit flabbergasted, a little bit nervous, like I don't even know how to handle shit like that. And I'm a freak, right? And I feel like when I'm getting the presence of another man that's like me, I be barely knowing what to do with it. And, and I think why is because it's just so fucking rare. Like, it's rare to have a guy just be that way and be confident in himself in his sexuality and just be open about it like that on social media platforms. I think there needs to be more men that want to become sex selling business moguls. I think there is a very open market for it. And I definitely think you men should go ahead and try it. So if you're a man or woman out there that has a sex appeal to boost the success of your business, I hope after today's parlay, you are motivated to go ahead and do that. Let's stop having the angry dad bods and other incompetent haters stop our sexy asses from shining. Instead, let's make our haters more mad by doing something that they can't. Sell more sex. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this realness. I'll catch y'all on the next parlay.